So in this video, I'm about to talk about some real controversial shit that a lot of people within the prison world will look at possibly a certain way. I might even lose some of my online friends, followers, whatever you want to call it, or I might get respect from people for being honest, because I promise you there's a lot of other people who have experienced this, done this, went through this, but they're not going to come on here and tell thousands of people. I really don't care what nobody thinks but my kids, their mom, my fiance, some of my family, and zero of my friends. Zero of my online friends. Like, if that's how you feel by me telling you the truth about some of my shit during my lowest point in my life in addiction, then I really just don't care to interact with you anyways. But if you ain't gonna look at it like that and you're willing to look past it and the fact that I'm being honest, then you should look at it for how it is that I've been able to grow from things. I came through my addiction, I'm home. People make mistakes, it is what it is, and I got my punishment as it is, so I'm gonna go into that. In jail, we got this thing called refusing to lock. It's a Rule 23, and people call it like checking in. Well, I had a situation like that where I had that on my record, and I had my own people mad at me. I owed this lifer some money. Now I got my mom, my brother, my woman, and my grandma, my cousin Darren. I had a whole bunch of people helping me with money when I was locked up. And the thing is, at this time though, there was like some shit going on with my people where I had to miss a week, and the dude was pissed, and I tried to explain it to him, and he was telling motherfuckers he was gonna stab me if I didn't have his money and all this weird ass shit. He wasn't the type to fight people. Like, everything on his record was for stabbing people, throwing fucking baby oil on people, all type of weird ass shit. I think he even killed somebody before, back in the day. But anyways, so when all this shit was going on, right, I'm sitting there trying to talk to my people and tell them what's going on. But we're not even supposed to take debts or have debts anyway. So they was pissed. So right off the rip, they made me take a fucking physical violation. Which, by the way, I had about 10 of those happen. I also had about 13 fights. I say about because one of them I wouldn't really count as a fight. Dude swung on me. I dodged it. We wrestled and fell down a flight of steps from the top dorm. But that's why I'm saying that maybe you'd say 12, but whatever. It was still an altercation. And out of those 13, I would say I won 8 of them, but you know, it ain't like a motherfucker sitting there taking tallies of whose prison records what. I'm just saying, I was there, I know how it went down, so I would say I won 8 out of 13 fights. I say that just to let it be known, this ain't no shit like I was ducking work or being a bitch or none of that. I ain't scared to fight. I got 100% attendance every time. I'ma show up regardless, win or lose. I literally got it tatted on my back, win or lose, with a pair of fists with blood dripping off of it. Now, my homie Bama from my city, he's home now too. He was in there with me, and he knew how this shit went down, because at one time, when I had them on my ass, my own people, I wasn't knowing what to do, you know, and he's my city, you know, dude. He was with a whole different organization, but he stood side by side with me while I had 3 people, 2 black dudes and a white dude that was my guys, in front of me talking shit, and he stood there and was like, well, we'll just all crash out right now. Like, and he's black too, by the way. I don't think I said that. Bama's somebody I've known for years, and we don't see the color thing with me and him. And he told me flat out, like, he said it right there. If this shit goes on, we'll do a 3-on-2 right here. We'll all go to the hole. So that situation subsided. But as time went on, I was already like up for a couple days, partying. I was at one of my lowest points, losing weight and shit. I was just so sick of everything that I wanted to get some time to myself. And I didn't even care about riding out or none of that. But and a lot of times when people do this, they'll go to like a different block, or they'll go to a different joint. But I didn't give a fuck about none of that. I wanted to work out, eat my 3 meals a day, relax, read some books, get into my radio, shit like that. But the whole time I was back there stacking up money, having my family put it on my books, because I had a GTO tablet back there so I could call them. So what I did was, when I got out, I went and found dude. I went right back in the block. I seen my guys, and they were like, what the fuck? looking at me, but they followed me and was talking to me. I told them, hold on, let me go take care of this. And I owed him and a couple other people some money. But I had went straight to his rack, tapped on his rack, woke him up. He was still wiping sleep out of his eyes, and I'm sitting there talking to him, asking him, does he want Cash App or commissary? And he was like, damn, I really didn't think I'd ever see you again. But he gave me dap and shit and was like, I respect that. Well, that was the one situation. But during all of that, I had a fallout with my people. I left this out, but I ended up taking a 2-on-1 to be considered off count. Two dudes, a white dude and a black dude, for 60 seconds. It's not fun. You're allowed to fight back, but it's just whatever. And when it's all said and done, you're pretty much shunned. You know what I'm saying? Well, I had that happen, but then for some reason, my dumb ass, because I was like brainwashed and so used to this shit, I ended up going back. You know how they say in the AA rooms or whatever you want to call it, they'll say like a dog vomits and goes back to its vomit or whatever. That's what I did. I could have just stayed in the clear and put all that part of my life behind me, because it's a lot more serious in jail when you're involved in gang shit. You might have heard that. They say don't gamble, don't take debts, and don't gangbang, because if you don't do them things, you'll have a lot less fights. Well, I wasn't doing that. I was in the shit. I was in the mix of everything. It was just too slow and boring without it, and I'm so used to it because I had already been doing this since I was 15. I wanted to be folks since I was 15, GD, growth and development. In my city, I was doing it, but it was kind of half-assed. When I went there, talked to, the bros, I let them know what I was familiar with. I was able to spit the creed, the 16 plus 1, the window, the owl, just different pieces of lit. I damn sure would never say them right now, like, you know what I'm saying? I would never do that, share that with outsiders. I'm not allowed to do that, but I'm just using examples that I was able to show them what I was familiar with. And then they did ask me to do some physical things, which I had to do, which was cool that they let me go with somebody else. The missions they let me do or had me do, they let me have somebody come with me, which was cool, to shadow me. But anyways, so what I'm saying is that second time I could have left it alone, but I didn't. I went back. So when I went to Lebanon, I had to start all over because I told them the very first day. I didn't even tell nobody it was my birthday. I wrote in there on my birthday, they call it your G-Day. And I didn't even tell them that. I just said, hey, I need to tell y'all about this situation. I had some shit on my record and this and that you might not like, because they'll look you up anyways. And they ended up making me take a physical violation that day too, but it wasn't as bad. It was 6 rib shots. So, you got to hold your staffs up and they'll hit you in the ribs 6 times. Well, anyways, I do all that, and then it was smooth sailing after that. It was TYG, Shit Truck, Yuck Mouth, whole bunch of people, Ghost, just a whole bunch of people that was in that block. Country. Anyways, that part's kind of irrelevant. But what I'm getting at is same shit there. I went through a whole bunch of crazy shit there, just like I did there. My girl got so mad at me that she ended up telling me flat out, like, I don't want you to do this no more. You're always in the hole. You're always into some shit. I'm always worried about you. Then, not to mention, I got STG, Security Threat Group. They put that on my name, which follows you home. So, like, they put you in this database as a gang member. And it makes it where, like, if a cop gets behind you, they can see it. Just all type of crazy shit. So, while I was at Leb, I ended up talking to him, like, hey, I've been doing this since I was 15. I already had the opportunity once, and I wasn't ready yet, but now I am. I wanted to go to this certain block. It's like a program block, but also a lot of people are check-ins there. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up doing that, but before that, they made me fucking do another 2-on-1 and said this time you just stay off count. You know what I'm saying? But they fucked with me though. Like, a lot of the guys fucked with me. So when it was all said and done, we went in there, did the 2-on-1, they beat my ass. The COs already knew it was up. That's how fucked up Leb is. That I told them, like, when I come up here in a little bit, I'm going to the hole. And they're like, all right. So this was technically another time that I did this. I did that. I went in the hole. And that's a way people do things to get their own way. Like, I've seen gang members that are high ranking do this. I've seen lifers do this to go to certain blocks. Anything, but you get control over the situation. It don't matter the situation though. If it's on your record, people are gonna have something to say about it, and even if it's justified. But I went back there. I told them I wanted to go to this program block and shit. I had a higher chance of getting in the flying high program at Trumbull Walls if I was acting right. But I was never gonna act right. I was never gonna stay out of trouble if I was in the block I was in K King. So I did that. I gotta end this video, but I did that and I rode to Trumbull Walls eventually, so it worked and everything was smooth sailing after that.